Hi, and thanks for joining. If you're new here, I'm Wendy, and this is Nina's Jewels. My husband and I buy things at garage sales, flea markets, thrift stores, liquidation pallets, just about anywhere we can find things to sell online and flip for a profit. If that's content you're interested in, you're in the right place. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you can be kept informed of all of our latest content. Today's video is going to be how we make offers to buyers our most successful selling strategy. Let's get started. The first thing we do is set the right price. We sell most of our items on eBay, but we do sell a few things on Facebook Marketplace, Mercari, and very occasionally on Etsy. So we'll start off by comping on eBay through looking at sold comps and by looking at current selling items for the same thing that we're listing. We want to not have the highest price or the lowest price, but if I'm selling something, so we're gonna go into this assuming that if we're gonna be making offers to buyers, that we're gonna be listing something as having best offer turned on. So we want to I usually will price something near the high end because I want to have room to negotiate with that buyer. So I'll look at where something's sold, but I don't always price it at where that item's sold because I also want to look at where it's currently listed because the market value of that item might have gone up. And then there's other factors to consider, that if it had like 100% sell-through rate and there's only a few items listed, so the supply of that item, it's a hard item to come by, you might be able to list it for a higher price than what it had been previously selling for. So I am going to set my price of my item at the higher end of the spectrum, but I don't want to be the very highest item. So I definitely want to have some wiggle room to negotiate with my buyer. So I'm on the higher end, but I'm not the very highest. I definitely don't want to be on the low end because I want to have that room to negotiate with a buyer and make an offer that's going to be attractive to that buyer. So on eBay, in order to make an offer to a buyer, you have to have a watcher. So the next step is that you have to wait for people to watch your item. So once a watcher comes along and watches your item, then that means that you then have the opportunity to extend an offer to a buyer. So once somebody watches your item, then eBay will send you a notification that you can make an offer. At that point, your third step is to make a compelling offer. So the way we do it is kind of a tiered approach. We consider how long we've had that item listed. If it's only been up a short time, like days or maybe even only a week, we might offer a lower percentage off. So, if we have a $100 item, for example, we might offer, and it really, this is definitely not a cookie cutter approach that we have with the percentages that I'm going to give you. It really depends particularly on the item. It depends on how much cost of goods we have in on the item, how much our shipping is. There are so many factors that go into it, but just for the sake of easy math, we'll say that we have a $100 item and it's only been up for a couple of days and we get a watcher on it. So we might offer, actually, let's just say that we have a $100 item and it's been up for just a few hours. I probably wouldn't immediately make an offer on that. I'd probably wait and see if they bought it. I might give it, 24 hours or so. If they don't make me an offer on the item or just purchase the item outright, then after, a few hours of waiting for the buyer to make a move, then I might come in and say, I don't want them to lose interest on it or buy somebody else's. Somebody else might swoop in and make an offer on their item. So I don't even know if I'd give it 24 hours, actually, to be honest with you. I might just give it a few hours, maybe 8 to 12 hours. Then I might come in and say, I'm going to offer 5 to 10% off on that item, extend that offer to that buyer. See what happens. if they don't accept that offer, maybe some time has gone by, a couple weeks have gone by, some more people start watching the item. At that point, I might make another 10% off offer on that item to the new buyers. Then at that point, we generally will have a set threshold on that item for our lowest acceptable offer. Like on this $100 item, let's pretend like our set threshold that we would accept would be $75. Like that's our bottom dollar item, lowest offer on that, just for easy math. So let's say this item's been up for a month and I'm ready to, really get this item moving. I'm ready to get this item moving out of my store. It's been up for a month or two and we've got several watchers on it. At that point, I would think I would begin offering 20% off on that item. So I'd start making an $80 offer to people. That gives some wiggle room to them to be able to come back and make me a counter offer of $75, which I would then accept. So that gives me some back and forth with them. But I'm not going to go in and make an offer of $75 to them, because then that puts me in a position of them making a counter offer that I'm not going to want to accept, because a buyer has the mentality of wanting to win. And I don't want to go in with my bottom dollar offer immediately. I want to go in with an offer above my bottom dollar for several reasons. Number one, I want them to accept that offer maybe. And number two, if they want to have the win mentality and come back with an offer that's a little bit lower and beat me or win, then I have the leeway to be able to accept that offer with what I'm willing to take. So that's kind of the way that we set up our tiered approach of being able to negotiate with buyers through extending a best offer. The third thing that we do is we always make an offer to buyer and we end it in the number 8. So for example, going back to an item, a $100 item, if I was going to make a 20% offer, 20% discount offer to a buyer, I would make that offer of $79.98. If I was going to make a 10% off offer, I would make it $89.98. And the reason why we do that is for record keeping purposes. If the buyer accepts our offer, then we know that was a successful offer to buyer, that strategy of offer to buyer was successful. We keep a spreadsheet and we keep all of our information in there, and we keep our sales prices in there, and we know that anything that ends in the number 8, and the only ones that end in the number 8 are offers to buyers, that we know that was a successful offer to buyer sale. So it doesn't always exactly work, because a lot of times a buyer will come back with a counter offer and they don't magically know to end their counter offer in the number 8. And of course you can't say to them, can you remake that counter offer and end it in the number 8? But for the most part, they sometimes will accept our offer, or it just, it works out. And you would be surprised how many offers or how many sales we have that end in the number 8. That's how we know it's so successful for us, because so many of our sales end in the number 8. So offers to buyer is an extremely successful selling strategy for us. And we know that it is because we have so many sales ending in the number 8. And that doesn't even count all the ones that were counter offers that the buyers didn't end in the number 8. So that is just a little tip if you want to help have another way to keep track of your offers to buyers, is to pick a number and have those end in the number 8, and then have all of your other prices end in another number. So just a little tip there. And then the final thing we do is close the sale, which is sometimes frustrating because on an offer to buyer, buyers are not required to pay immediately. So sometimes they never pay. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But that is the one big frustration with offers to buyer, is that buyers are not required to pay immediately. And I have heard that eBay was originally going to roll out something that buyers would have to enter their credit card, so that they would then their payments would be processed and you would receive their payment, and that was being rolled out to some sellers. But then I never really heard anything else about that. That was never rolled out to us, and I don't really know what happened with that. If you know anything about that, let me know in the comments below, because that just seemed to have kind of quieted down, and I'm not really sure whatever happened with that. With all of the seller updates, no mention has ever been made of that again to my knowledge, so I'm not really sure what's going on with that update, because it seems to have just kind of gone away, and we are continuing to have issues with non-paying buyers with offers to buyers. So that's the one downside to offers to buyers, is that sometimes they don't pay, and that has been an ongoing problem for us. In fact, that's been a problem for us that we've seen an increase in the recent months. So one downside to offers to buyers is non-paying buyers, and that continues to be an issue, and I hope that eBay finds a fix for that. If you have any information about the rollout that they said they were going to do, please comment below and let us know what you know about it. But offers to buyer is definitely our most successful selling strategy, and we use it on a daily basis. As soon as the option to send offers comes up, we immediately send it. I want to strike while the iron is hot with buyers. And while the item is fresh on their mind, I want them to buy my item, not somebody else's that they're watching. So I send those offers as soon as it is available, and it obviously works because we sell a lot of items through that feature. Well, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure you hit that like button. And even more important, please make sure you subscribe. It really helps us out, and we sure would appreciate it. Thanks again for watching, and we will see you guys next time. Bye.